Wildfires can be a traumatic time, as Alberta has learned time and time again between Slave Lake, Fort McMurray, and now across the province. We welcome the CEO of the Psychologists Association of Alberta, Dr. Judi Malone. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
Let's take a look back, sort of before we take a look forward. Can you speak to how, wildfires have impacted people in the past?
Yeah, we're still seeing people really reeling. We have the economic downturn in Alberta. We had the pandemic lockdown, and we're all really aware of the Fort McMurray and Slave Lake wildfires and how devastating that they really were. And so to have this disaster happening again so soon has Albertans on edge.
Let's talk a little bit more about the symptoms. Some people might not be privy to that or aware. What can you tell us?
Well, there's quite a few ways people get affected. Even if you're not being evacuated, even if you're not in that fire zone, you can have more intense feelings from distress. You could be more irritable. Our mood and sleep and physical health starts to get impacted, and our general stress level really goes up.
And we discussed, these fires aren't a new thing. It's something that we've dealt with in the past. We've identified with it. What have we learned about responding to these sorts of situations, that have happened years ago?
Yeah, so a few things. One, we've learned that prevention works, early intervention works. Getting people information really helps them to cope. Psychology works. We also learned a lot about how resilient Albertans are. Mm-hmm. Really, we do well and we bounce back, and people are very strong.
Yeah, we've seen that in the news as well, too. A lot of people stepping up to, help and offer support. It's great to see. Some people who have been displaced may be experiencing trauma, however, not able to identify or be aware of that. What sort of things should they be looking out for?
Yeah, there's some pretty clear signs often. One is intense shock and denial. Another is what we call emotional reactivity, or emotions can explode very easily or seem to have real extremes. And a third really core marker, of course, is our closest relationships, especially if you've been relocated somewhere, you're not living at home, your relationships can feel really, really strained.
And what sort of advice do you have in terms of people who are in need of help? How can they go about getting the aid they need?
Yeah, so the first is to talk to people. And the people who normally give you support may also be under distress right now. So you may want to reach out to other people who are out there. Share your concerns and feelings. We have a disaster response network. There are amazing volunteers throughout this province. Share your concerns and what you're going through. It really helps normalize what is not a normal situation.
And right now there's some support available free of cost. Give us the details on that.
Yeah, we're delighted. We've activated our disaster response network again. And so we've got trauma psychologists who volunteer to do 1 to 3 sessions. People who are not sure they're under distress can contact us. The psychologist will do a check-in, give some good information about what to expect, how to cope. And even some of the trauma psychologists have excellent protocols just to really help give people some extra psychological strength during this difficult time.
Well, Dr. Malone, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Always nice to be here.
The Psychologists Association of Alberta is offering 3 sessions for those traumatized by the disaster. And for more information, you can head to our website.